Welcome, future overlords of the digital realm. Might need to work on that one a little bit, but it's okay. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the cutting edge of technology, which right now is AI. So let's dive into some of the most buzzworthy AI news stories from the past week. First up, we're talking about the Cold War, but with algorithms and neural networks, and it's like straight out of a James Bond movie. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO and chairman of Google, was recently hosted by NCI, where he discussed the integration of AI into global security systems. Now, this is a huge leap considering they probably still use like floppy disks and stuff because they're worried about stuff getting hacked, which is a big concern with AI. And I think that's one of the major concerns overall with AI. And one of the things that Elon Musk was worried about, which is, with the power of AI and how people can start to do things faster and things that they might not necessarily have the capability to do, or they didn't put enough of their brain together to do. And now we can do it so much faster, but that also means we can do nefarious things quite faster. So hacking complex encryption and things like that is going to get much easier with AI. So we have to also increase our security with AI. But not only did Eric Schmidt talk about this, the UK defense chief also highlighted AI as a key to strengthening security against Chinese ambitions. Now, what does this mean? Why is this specifically China? I mean, there's actually been a lot of moves made by China over the past few years, which has caused the Western countries to kind of be a little more defensive. And so they created AUKUS in 2021. That is AUKUS. It's Australia, UK, and United States. And they kind of have a coalition now. And what he stated was that they are on Pillar 2, which is really integrating AI and robotics into the defense strategies. Are you seeing how much AI is going to be integrated into our future? If this doesn't show you the importance of AI and how AI is here to stay, I don't know what will. Maybe this story will give you a little more perspective. Sam Altman, which is the CEO of OpenAI, if you're living on a rock, that is the biggest and pretty much the forefront of AI, is OpenAI. That's where ChatGPT comes from. He apparently walked into the bank and asked for a small loan of $7 trillion. Okay, so he didn't exactly walk into the bank. He went to the next best place, which is the United Arab Nations. All that nice oil money that we don't even know how much exists because they don't have to disclose how much they're actually making. They're just sitting on money. So what does he want this money for? Well, he wants to revolutionize AI chips. So it's kind of like one of the limitations in AI right now is the hardware to go ahead and train these large language models, which is what these AIs run on. Altman has, of course, been complaining about the scarcity of the chips, and that's why he wants to overhaul this system. Now, his investment that we're talking like $5 to $7 trillion to do this would really dwarf the size of the current industry. So the semiconductor industry had a global sales of around $527 billion last year. But that is now expected to rise around $1 trillion annually, simply because of AI. That's how big this thing is. There's going to be a need for so many chips to keep powering up AI. So imagine where we are today and where we might be next year, year at, as we keep adding more and more resources into this. Just to give you a tidbit of information on Altman, I kind of liken him to Elon Musk and kind of consider him maybe an up-and-coming Elon Musk in terms of his ambition. And heck, he probably could get to Mars before Elon at this point, because this man is extremely ambitious. And while so many people are trying to slow down AI, he is pretty much breaks off max speed. Let's go. Let's see what we can do with this thing. And so that can be both scary, but also promising at the same time, because honestly, if it wasn't for his attitude, where would we be right now? OpenAI is where it's at. ChatGPT is where it's at because of his ambition. And if you didn't know, I don't know if it was a few weeks ago, a few months ago, essentially he fired or quit? Either way, for like a weekend, he was like fired from OpenAI because of the fact that he didn't want to pump the brakes a little bit. And at that point, Microsoft essentially hired him into some secret lab to give him the ability to do what he wants. And then next thing you know, he was back as CEO of OpenAI, all within the same weekend. So this industry is absolutely insane and so many things are happening. But anyway, let's get into the next story. AI is taking over journalism. I mean, it just is what it is. It's one of the things it's great at, right? It's great at gathering up information, disseminating information, summarizing things. Just it to make things so much easier. Heck, I'm using it to create this video. I can now use the AI to figure out what the most buzzworthy articles are from the past week, like what's going on. It can go out there and scour the articles, read them, summarize them for me, making my life a whole lot easier, taking out all the hours and hours of research. Now, gotta be a little bit careful, gotta do some fact checking on what I say, of course, but it makes things so much easier. But what's next? I mean, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna have AI writing about AI? Are we gonna have AI writing the news? Imagine now getting your morning news from an AI who also cracks dad jokes. Why did the algorithm go to therapy? Because it had too many layers. Man, I mean, the irony of that is that actually the AI gave me that to stay on here. So that is literally a joke from the AI. But on a serious note, the impact of how we are going to consume news into the future is profound. And we're here for the robot gossip. I can't wait to see what happens. I look forward to the day where one AI is talking about another AI and trash talking them, and then they maybe get a little AI fights. Who knows? Like maybe we'll have some virtual boxing or something for these things. But anyway, next up, Microsoft is making big moves with their Super Bowl ad, and it's really a pivotal point for AI within Microsoft. As you may know, they've been integrating into Bing, and they are probably like the biggest investor in OpenAI. They have a very close relationship with OpenAI. As I said earlier, Sam Altman was briefly, pulled in to be part of a secret lab at Microsoft, and they have went pretty much all in on this, and it's making Google and Apple and the other folks have to run to catch up. But their Super Bowl ad is advertising Copilot, which is kind of weird because as a software developer, I have heard of Copilot in terms of coding. I believe it's from GitLab or GitHub. I can't remember which one. So the Super Bowl ad is showing the shift from Bing and search integration into actually you having a standalone product known as Copilot. And that product is, I don't know, I kind of liken it to Siri or Google Assistant, and more of a standalone, not necessarily just a phone integration. Microsoft have been trying to chip away at Google's search monopoly essentially on the market. And I think that they're finally figuring out that that's not really going to be the right approach. And so I think that what they're trying to do is shift from, really pushing the search stuff and more into like an overall assistant. Using these assistants will decrease the usage of search. So I believe it's a better approach than just trying to enhance search. Let's go ahead and create something new, something different, and let's go from there. Now, that being said, the assistants are not a new thing, but I think this is a great move for Microsoft, and we'll see how it goes. Now, Copilot will still be part of the Bing experience, but they will be presenting it as its own brand and kind of separating that out and trying to bring that standalone product in, especially because a lot of people don't naturally use Bing. And even me, even though I know Bing enhanced and has some of those AI features first, I still never switched from Google's to start using that. I just go directly like ChatGPT or something and use that. So I think having an actual product on its own would be better. Our final story is not huge, but it just kind of made me laugh a little bit, and I wanted to use it as a bit of a segue into a little bit of a conversation on AI, the future of AI, something I'm trying to really get across to folks. AI is here to stay. So let's figure out how to use it, figure out how to interact with it. Stop being scared about your job. If you can learn how to use AI to help you do stuff better, you will be safe. It's not that big of a deal. The future is in prompt engineering. People need to have that experience. I'm a software developer, and if I wanted to maintain, just go write code from storyboards, I'm going to fall off. I am now shifting my focus into prompting because that's the future, and it is what it is. That's how it happens. Things evolve over time. So anyway, robocalls are still a thing, and although I feel like we should just get rid of them, period, they're still around. And I mean, I guess there's some cases where you opt in. Of course, a lot of this is within the whole election thing, and the thing that prompted this, or one of the ones that prompted this, was a phone call last month that it was made to sound like President Biden. And yes, these AI voices are sounding more and more real every single day. These things keep getting enhanced. And so he was telling New Hampshire voters to stay home. I mean, come on, guys. Like, this is getting ridiculous. So anyway, that prompted the FCC to go ahead and outlaw unwanted robocalls generated by artificial intelligence. Why can't we just outlaw unwanted robocalls? Anyway, this has been a huge thing that's grown in the past few months to a year with the use of AI. It's getting better and better at creating images, getting better and better at creating voices, and it's getting closer to where you can't tell the difference between the real thing and before this, we really kind of had this thing called deepfakes, and that was like a little more complex to put together. You know, you need someone with some good experience to be able to do that. It's just getting easier and easier, just as with everything else being done with the AI. So the AI is here to stay. It is the future, whether you want to embrace it or not. But I recommend that you do embrace it. And if you stick around, check out the channel. I'll be posting different videos on different tools and stuff that are coming out, and trying to help you guys know what tools are out there and what you should be using. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's AI news. Stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, I'll be bringing a bunch of different tools and stuff, what you guys can be using to better your future and feel more secure in your job. But let's be real, guys. AI is replacing folks' jobs. It is making things a lot more efficient. I'll give you a perfect example. When it comes to like translations or transcriptions and things like that, it's getting to the point where AI will outperform humans, which, I mean, sounds silly, but it's true. I mean, and you can't, so many people are like, oh, well, it's not perfect. It makes mistakes. Okay, humans make mistakes. So what do you expect? It's still going to become useful when the AI gets to the point where it's like 95% accurate and the human is 93% accurate. Why would we keep using the human? Things change over time. It's always happened. It always will. I think this one is just a bit more scary for folks, but it's just another evolution. It's the next step. So get with the program. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll try to help you feel as comfortable as possible. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video.